This is Shoutout Sessions with KyTheGoalie. Today's guest played lacrosse at UMass Law, interned at Barstool Sports, and somehow turned the numbers 67 and 41 into their own culture. You've seen his edits, his memes, and his behind-the-back goals. The guy can score, edit, chirp, and make you laugh all in one video. Let's go. Welcome to the show, H00pify, a.k.a. H00pify. How you doing today, H00pify?
Thank you so much for having me on. This is awesome. That was a great intro. Already a pro. Yeah, no, I'm pumped to do this. I've seen a bunch of my friends in like the lacrosse community do this. I was like, I gotta get on here.
Well, yeah, I'm really excited to get you on, so let's just go right to it. When was the first time you picked up a lacrosse stick?
Picked up a lacrosse stick. So both my parents played in college. My dad played at Yale. My mom played at Gettysburg, and they're both from Long Island too, which you probably know is like a hotbed. So I was kind of just born with it. I think the first official like league I played in, I was in second or third grade.
How'd you end up playing D1 at UMass Law? What was the recruiting process like?
So how it worked was I was in the class of 2021. So our recruiting, our September 1st or whatever was in the year of 2020. So that was like before COVID hit. So on September 1st, I had three D1 schools contacted me. It was UMass Amherst, our rivals, Bucknell and High Point. And it was nothing crazy. It was just like, hey, like we're interested in. There wasn't any offers or anything. It was like, hey, we're interested in you. Like we'll see how this goes. Like you'll be kind of a later recruit for us, like March next summer potentially. I was like, okay, cool, sounds good. And but as you know, like I was supposed to, as you know, that year in March, COVID hit, and I was supposed to visit Bucknell actually like that week or the week after. So kind of after that happened, like they were like, okay, oh cool, we can get like grad transfers now, all that stuff. So like that, all that kind of fell apart. And then I was like, okay, like let me see. And like I was totally fine going like wherever. And like I was talking to some NESCAC schools, and then all of a sudden like UMass Lowell hit me up one day. And I'm from New Hampshire, but I didn't really know that much about it. And then I knew I was they had a really good engineering program, which I really liked. And I kind of just and they had a good year. They were like 3-3 that year. They only lost to UMass by two. And like UMass was ranked that year. I'm like, oh, let's do that. Like that sounds like awesome. And they offered me. I think I committed like a week later.
Did you always play defense or did you start somewhere else?
So I always shifted around a little bit when I was younger, and I remember I think I was in fifth or sixth. Yeah, I was in sixth grade, and I was attack, and I was like, oh, I want to be offense, I want to be the guy who scores. And I kept getting checked, and I hated it, and I was like, I have to play defense. Like my dad played defense, so like he was very easy. It was very easy for me to learn.
What's your favorite memory as a Riverhawk? Any specific games or moments that stand out?
Yeah, definitely for me it was I set my first start my sophomore year and I hit like this D twig on a kid and it was like my first ever D1 game because I redshirted my freshman year, first time ever playing, and I was like, oh yeah, this is easy, like this will be like this is D1 lacrosse, this is nothing. I figured out very quickly that that was not the case. I wasn't a specimen in D1 lacrosse, but like going into your first game and hitting like that kind of check in a D1 game like felt cool and like it was like hey like I did this, like I worked for this all my life. I'm playing in a D1 game, and like this kind of felt surreal.
I saw one of your early in the day in the life vlogs. What were the facilities at UMass Law like?
They were really good. I liked them a lot. Like we just redid our whole locker room our this past year. So like I'm sure you watched that video. So that was like kind of old. I think I did that my freshman year. But we just redid our whole locker room. That's awesome. We redid our turf like 2 years ago. I think they're putting in a new weight room within the next 2 years. So like the facility there is were awesome. Like definitely top notch, especially compared to a lot of the other schools in like our conference.
You interned at Barstool Sports over the summer. How did that happen? Sorry.
Oh yeah. So I listened to this podcast for a while called Part of My Take, and they're like, hey, we're having intern interviews. And this was not this past summer, but the summer before. And I was like, oh, like I've always wanted to work at Barstool, like it was a dream of mine. And I was like, oh, I gotta go do this. And they're like, hey, like you can only do this if you come in person. So I was in Massachusetts and I flew out to Chicago for the interview. And then it went really well, I thought, and I was like I'm waiting, I didn't hear anything. Then eventually, like my mom's like, just email them and ask. So I asked them, like, and they're like, hey, we really liked you, but like at this point it was already July, like 2 summers ago, and they're like, we don't know, like we want you to be here full summer, so we don't want you to come down right now, but you come down the next summer. And then I was there the next summer, and it was yeah, ended up interning there this summer, awesome time.
What's the funniest, most ridiculous thing you did while you were there?
Funniest, most ridiculous thing. So I have two answers for this. One is that my scooter got stolen. I take an electric scooter every day to work. And then one day I was at church and it got stolen. So I went on like a 3 day chase throughout, but it had like an air tag in it. So I went on a 3 day chase, like chasing it around the city to get it back. And eventually I did. And then another day, like in the office moment that was funny is that like they were throwing hot dogs for some reason and one got stuck like on the roof. And it was like we spent like 4 hours trying to get the hot dog down.
What? Wait, so I want to hear more about the scooter. Like, who stole the scooter? Why did they steal the scooter? Like,
So
what's the deal with
I
the
don't
scooter?
know. Yeah, so I was at church. I got a scooter for my birthday, and because they're like, oh, my parents are like, you're gonna be in Chicago, like it'll be good for you, because like like you don't want a car out there, like especially in cities, it's like so expensive and stuff. So I was taking it around everywhere, and like I just had like a lock for it. It was like two handcuffs. So basically, like one would lock onto the scooter, and one would lock onto the bike rack. Then I remember I got out of church, and this chain was just snapped in half, and I was like, "What happened?" So then I'm going around. I'm like, then I'm tracking it on my phone. It's going to one place. I'm like calling an Uber, taking it there, going there. Then eventually, I got to this neighborhood, and like the AirTag wasn't exact, so I could like track it to like four different houses. So I was like, I knocked on the doors, no one would fess up to it. And then I was like, okay. So I printed out flyers and put them around the neighborhood, like missing scooter. And I'm like, if you have it, please just drop it back at the church. So then I remember I was like going to bed a couple nights later, and I saw the scooter was moving, and it was going back to the church. So I went to go pick it up. So pretty funny.
Now let's talk about the legend of 6'7" and 41. Where did those numbers came to be, and what are they?
That's a great question. So the funny thing about 6, 7, and 41 is that like there's not a real meaning behind either of them. Like it's not like because like my mom always asked me because like what like the fun because she used to be a math teacher. So the two numbers she always used to have to avoid are 69 and 420. And obviously PG podcast not going to go into what those mean, but those are obviously inappropriate numbers. So when she heard like 6, 7, and 41 were going viral, she said, "Oh, are those like inappropriate?" And I'm like, "No, like they just both stem from songs. So basically, like there's a 6, 7 song, like Doot Doot, and there's a 41 song about like this guy who was like this rapper who was talking about how he's 41 years old. So there's no true meaning behind them, but like that's how they kind of came to be. And like and then like the kid went viral for saying 6, 7 at the Rod Wave basketball game. And then I saw the 41 meme was going viral too. So I'm like, oh, 41's bigger than 6, 7, and I made its own hand motion for it.
At what point did you realize that your social media was taking off?
That's a good question because like I still feel like I don't know. Like, I'm grateful for it a lot, but you don't want to ever tell yourself you're bigger than you actually are and get in your head about it. But definitely, like, the most surreal moment for me so far is like, I remember when, like, my first, like, super viral moment is like, when I said, like, baby girl and Grizz Oblivion done. I remember when, like, that was, like, trending on the internet, and I was like, I scrolled on Twitter, and like I saw my face just like everywhere, and I'm like, I think I'm like becoming a meme right now. And then sure enough, like a few days later, I was a meme. So that was probably the most like whoa moment, 'cause especially too like I was at like maybe 70,000, 60,000 TikTok followers at the time, so like I was doing well, but like you're like whatever, like just doing it for fun. And that was the moment I was like, whoa, like this is like what it feels like to go viral.
But I gotta ask, what's with the bell ding ding dings in your videos?
Oh, so originally this like So I started off like making YouTube videos and stuff, and that's how I did. That's how like I kind of got into social media. I remember I watched a Mr. Beast video. He's like, and this is when like everyone was trying to copy Mr. Beast and stuff. He's like, hey, you need like an action. Hey, like you need an action happening like every like 3 frames or something, and like you either need like subtitles, a sound effect, something like that. So it's like, okay, I'll put that in my videos. And the dings used to be like very like not. I just do it like every time like an action word was said. So if I said like shot the ball, like a ding would be on shot or something like that. But then like there was one video where it was like a bunch of actions and a bunch of numbers and stuff, so there was a lot of dings. And then like people were liking the dings, so I kept putting in more dings, and then like where just the dings have progressed now to where it's like kind of like a funny like inside joke on my channel.
What goes into your viral content? What do you come up with the ideas?
It's tough because there's like a lot of stuff like a big thing on Hoopify. I try doing Hoopify. It's like I want to be like one of the first ones to talk about it, but then you also can't be too early too, where you're like the only one talking about it, because then everyone's like, "What are you talking about?" So you need to find like that kind of like perfect spot of like when the meme's starting to go viral a little bit, but you don't want it to also be too early too, because I do that sometimes too, where I kind of like, oh, like this meme's hilarious, and like no one knows about it. So I have to like I usually scroll a little bit on my phones too. Then I started a Discord server like a couple months ago, which has been super helpful, where they like kind of track the memes and find stuff for me too. And I also made like a couple other channels where I kind of like talk more about the memes before I post it, so I can kind of like gauge interest for it.
What advice do you have for someone like me, a young creator who wants to make people laugh and go viral?
I get people like ask me this all the time, like, hey, like, what should I do? Like, I want to get into content, and like my biggest thing is that like it's just consistency, and like it's dumb as that sounds, like you just have to post and not care what people think about it, because I think that's like the biggest like barrier. I heard someone once told me like getting 10,000 followers is way harder than getting 100,000 followers, and I was like, oh, what is he talking about? But it's basically like you get way more scrutiny when you're going from like 0 to 10,000 than when you're going to 10,000 to 100,000, because everyone's like, oh, why are you doing that? Like, this is dumb. Don't do that. It's just more because it's not like, oh, they're so, like, they're not like, they don't actually, they're just jealous of you at the end of the day. Like, they want to be doing what you're doing and they don't want to see you succeed because then they'll be like, oh, like, that could have been me. I wanted to do that. And it's just like, hey, like, don't care what people think. And also, like, don't overthink your content too sometimes. It's just like a big, something I had to get over, like, a lot, something I was really struggling with. It's like, oh, like if this isn't edited perfectly, I don't want to put it out. And like that's what kind of learned, like experimenting on my like second and third channel a lot. So like, hey, just post it. Who cares? Like if it does bad, it does bad. And that's like the beauty of short form content too, is that like if you post a video and it doesn't do well, you can always post it again the next day or even the next like hour.
You played on Mitchell Pelkey's creator team, and we saw all the clips. Talk to me about that experience. How did it all come together?
So it was probably I want to say uh last February, I get a text from Mitchell Pelkey. He's like, "Hey, I'm doing a creator team. We're doing Word of the Short down in January, or sorry, down in July. Do you want to be a part of the team?" Immediately, I was like, "Yes, creator team. That sounds awesome." And at the time, too, my senior year, I didn't play lacrosse because I tore my labrum in my hip. So I was like, "Oh, like I don't know if I'll be ready to go, but no matter what, I'll be there." So he hit me up and I was like, yeah, like I don't care who's doing it. Like this sounds like a blast. Like we're all gonna be living in a house together. Like I'm there.
What was the vibe on that team like? Did y'all practice or just show up and run it?
So, so this is actually a super funny story. We did not practice once, and like half of us too, like haven't touched a stick in a while, or like at least in like in a competitive sense in a while. So we're all leaving the house that morning, and Pelkey texts us like, "Hey, this is the address. We're going here," and like everyone like try to get there like 15 minutes early. And we all leave, we all go off in our cars, and it's just me and my brother driving. And like he wasn't in the group chat at the time because whatever. And we're driving there, and we pull up to the field. It's like a baseball tournament going on, and we're like, What's this? Like, this is not like War at the Shore. That's what the tournament was called." And I look at my phone and say, "Hey guys, I sent you the wrong address. We're actually supposed to be going here instead." So we had to get in the car, drive like 20 minutes. I show up 5 minutes late to the first game, and it's just like, okay, suit up. Like I did a quick warm up on the side. I hopped right in, but the vibes were super high. Like everyone was just having fun with it. And yeah, but literally, I got thrown into the first game, like not having to play the game, like played competitive lacrosse in 6 months, being like, oh boy, got to figure this out.
What player most surprised you on the field?
Probably Truman because he's not a traditional lacrosse player. Like I see him all the time. He's doing like Old Miss, like drinking content, and like oh, like sick, like he played lacrosse, and like I don't know, like club lacrosse. You're like oh, like maybe he'll put in a few goals. He went off in the tournament. He was balling out. Like he had goal after goal. He was like one of our best. I think he was maybe our second or third leading goal scorer. So he definitely surprised me. I was not expecting that from him at all.
Which teammates have you already connected with before the tournament?
Before the tournament, I met Pelkey when I was like, I met him. I've seen him a bunch, like just like because like my little brother, he played club lacrosse. So I was always the one going to the tournaments of him, and he was always filming there. So we'd always say what's up to each other, kind of check in. And I saw D3 Hero because he's another New England guy too. And that was really it though, because I talked to Miles before and I talked to Varro before, but that was our first time meeting in person, and that was super cool.
Who's the funniest guy on the squad?
Ooh, funniest guy on the squad. There's a lot of funny people on that team, but I probably have to go with Duncan, Pelkey's intern. That dude was way funnier than I thought it was going to be for sure.
So when you're not doing behind the back passes or behind the back goals, when you're doing side quests, like taking a selfie with the ref or maybe eating a hot dog mid game, or when Duncan scored with the girl stick, tell me about your side quests.
But the ECD guys, they had a video they were filming for their channel where they wanted to do certain side quests, like, hey, like let's do this, let's do this. Like I think one of them they wanted to like they had like a list of 10 things they wanted to do, and like if they didn't do it, there was some sort of punishment for when they got back to the headquarters. I think they got like 7 out of 10. Some of the ones they didn't do, I think, is they wanted to score like a baseball bat goal. It's where like you flip it up in the back of your stick and like swing it in like that, which I think is absurd. Like to be able to pull that off, like I know it's a tournament, but like you got to have a lot of time on the crease to be able to score that one.
What else did the guys do that didn't make the highlight reel?
We were on the Jersey Shore, so some people went out that Saturday night, which wasn't vlogged, and then some of us just chilled at the house too, like the guys who were underage. And I also did that's when I did Miles' podcast too. I was one of the first guests on his podcast, and that was pretty fun. Yeah. Hopefully next year it'd be nice to get down there. Like I think we're gonna do it again. I don't know if that's a spoiler or not, but we're gonna hopefully we can get. I want to get down there earlier so I can kind of hang out with everyone a little more because I got down there kind of late because I was doing something in New York City that night. But yeah, behind the scenes, it was good. We had a pool too. I don't know how much that was showed in the video, but everyone was kind of swimming in there, and we had a hot tub too, which I really wanted to use. It was like super gross.
What was your favorite thing during the tournament?
It has to be my behind the back goal. I know it's selfish. I can't. My college teammates will vouch for me. I probably tried that like 5 times during practice in my time at UMass Law, and every single time I got yelled at for doing it because I never scored it. But to see it finally work out was like, oh, finally put it together.
Is there anything you absolutely refuse to do any of the side quests?
No, actually, yes. They asked me to do the selfie one with the ref, and I was like, I felt too uncomfortable doing that because I just like I don't know, like as much as like it is a tournament and stuff, like running up to a ref and taking a selfie, like that was that was just a little too much for me. But our boy Cannon Lax did that.
All right, let's get right into Rip It or Skip It, Hoopify edition. Wearing your old high school jersey as a gym fit.
Ooh, this is a skip it, but if it's like an old shooting shirt or something, like definitely rip it.
TikTok edits with ding sounds every 2 seconds.
Rip it for sure. If there's every 1 second.
High school players calling themselves D1 prospects.
That's a skip for sure. Unless you have stars attached to your name, you got to be skipping that.
Long pole fogos who think they're midfielders.
Rip it because that's my little brother. That's my little brother. He was a pole fogo.
Reposting your own post from a burner account.
Skip. It's got to be natural. Skip it.
Eating a full plate of pasta before practice.
I would say rip it. I know people always talk about like, hey, like you got. Well, I was always like kind of like eat whatever before practice type of guy.
Drinking chocolate milk like it's pre-workout.
Skip it. You can't eat chocolate milk. Oh, fun. I don't know. Sorry, I'm not trying to do side quests in this. But one time in college, we all went to the dining hall and we all got chocolate milk like the night. It was like a night before. No, it was during fall ball. No, it was during. Sorry, preseason. So like we did 2 a day. So we had like morning practice, lunch, and then like afternoon practice. So during lunch, we all went to the dining hall and got chocolate milk, and it was like during winter break kind of. So the milk had to be spoiled or something. And we all felt like half of us felt like we were gonna puke the whole practice.
You get mic'd up for a game, but then say nothing the entire game.
Skip it. You should. They need to know who to mic up.
All right, let's go into the next section. You've done D1 lacrosse. You've gone viral more times than I can count. What's next for Hoopify?
What's next for Hoopify? I'm going somewhere else next. I can't officially say yet because nothing's been officially signed, but stay tuned for that. I'll be moving soon. And also, I guess I haven't talked about this anywhere yet. I'm acting I'm shooting a TV show pilot. I got cast in a TV show, so I'll be doing that.
Do you want to stay in content and media long term, or are you looking to shift into something else?
It's a good question because people ask me that all the time. It's like, hey, like, do you want to do this full time? Like, yeah, it's great right now, but don't want to be 30, 40 years old making Hoopify videos. But I think there's a way. I could definitely shift it eventually. Like, like I've been in content. I like content for sure. I think there's definitely a way, like, if I'm not like in front of the camera, I could definitely shift to behind the scenes in a few years, however that is, 10 years. Or like, I can also, I want to start to shift to do other content too, like more long form stuff.
Mm. Drop a message for younger creators who feel like they're stuck and too small to get noticed.
I just say keep posting and don't care and like post as much as you can and just don't be overthink it because at the end of the day, like you just keep posting. I never thought I'd be in. If you asked me like 2 years ago, like would you be in like this position right now? I never would have thought like my media route would have gone this way. But like some things go viral that you never think are gonna go viral and it kind of shapes like who people see you are and who you can connect with. And it's like okay, like this is cool. So like, but like if I just like got discouraged when I was doing YouTube videos and never posted again then like I never would have been here right now, and who knows what I'd be doing.
Thank you so much for being on the show. Where can people follow you, watch your videos, and stay up to date with everything you've got going on?
But yeah, so you can follow me on TikTok at H00pify, Hooverville, and Hoover Valley. Those are my three accounts, and then on Instagram it's H00pify with zeros, and YouTube it's H00pify too. So thank you, yeah, thank you so much for having me on. This is awesome.
Big thanks to Henry Tatala for coming on Shutout Sessions. From locking down attackmen at UMass Law to dropping behind-the-back goals in some random numbers doing viral culture. You've been doing it your own way, and it's working. I'm KyTheGoalie, and see you next time in the crease.